We arrived at Sinjil on an early winter day when the mountains and forests were buried under a thick, endless blanket of snow. The wind lashed against our faces, carrying with it the unmistakable scent of pine and frost. Everything felt still silent in that eerie way only deep winter can create. Yet beneath that calm, danger lurked. The locals had warned us again and again. An outbreak of wild boars had swept through the region. Their population had exploded over the past few months. They reproduced rapidly, destroyed farms overnight, and even charged at people without hesitation. In a place like this, one careless step could mean disaster. Recognizing the threat, the local Hunters Association organized a massive hunt to control their numbers and protect the surrounding villages. We were invited to join the group armed with hunting rifles, scopes, thick winter gear, and accompanied by experienced hunting dogs trained for harsh terrain and aggressive targets. Everyone carried a sense of purpose, yet there was an unspoken tension. None of us knew how large the herds had become or how vicious they might be this season. Following the snow-covered trail deep into the mountains, we were surprised to find our first targets much faster than expected. Their tracks were fresh, pressed deeply into the snow, leading straight toward a narrow valley. The dogs tensed, sniffing the air. Suddenly, the silence shattered. A gunshot rang out. The leader of the herd collapsed instantly, its massive body sliding down the slope, leaving a crimson trail on the white snow. Panic swept through the remaining pigs. They bolted in every direction, their powerful legs kicking up snow clouds as they tried to escape. But we didn't allow that to happen. I raised my gun, aligned the scope, and without a moment's hesitation, pulled the trigger. A crisp, echoing blast. 3 more wild boars dropped, crashing into the undergrowth. The remaining ones fled toward the steep hillside. We split into smaller groups to pursue them, pushing through slippery, icy terrain that tested every step. The thick snow significantly slowed our pace, and our legs felt like lead. But the chase continued. By the time we reached the next ridge, the herd had already crossed over. With no way to close the distance safely, we decided to attack from afar. At nearly 400 meters, every member of the team steadied their breathing, tightened their grips, and took aim. then opened fire. A rain of bullets tore through the cold air. A few targets fell, rolling down the slope, while others miraculously escaped into the dense forest. Even after the barrage, the wilderness swallowed their shapes like ghosts disappearing in the fog. We continued our pursuit up another hill, following deeper, more chaotic footprints, a sure sign of a large herd hiding nearby. This time, we changed tactics. We formed an ambush, spreading out silently behind boulders and trees. When the first boar appeared, lumbering cautiously into the open, the order was whispered: "Fire." The explosion of gunshots broke the quiet. Boars dropped instantly. One charged toward a narrow opening, thinking it could slip past, but that was a mistake. A teammate intercepted with a clean, powerful shot that stopped it mid-sprint. We shifted strategies, focusing on single, precise targets. When a boar is shot down immediately, the others hesitate, confused, giving us precious seconds before their instincts trigger flight. With each quick takedown, we moved closer, eliminating additional targets. 4 pigs fell in rapid succession. The rest squealed wildly and bolted, leaving deep scars in the snowy ground as they scrambled to escape. By the end of that intense battle, sweat soaked our clothes despite the freezing air. But there was no time to rest. As we crossed into another valley, another herd appeared, large, dark, and restless. "We can't miss this chance," someone whispered. From our concealed positions, we opened fire relentlessly. Snow erupted from the ground with each impact, and one by one the boars collapsed. Time slipped away as we traced the mountainside back toward our rest point. Just when we thought the hunt was nearing its end, a few giant black silhouettes appeared in our sights. There was no hesitation. Gunshots cracked again. One shot, one kill. We felt re-energized, as if the wilderness itself had revived our spirits. With coordinated formation, we eliminated the final targets of the expedition. A few had managed to hide, but their tracks revealed their fate soon enough. No trace of the herd remained. As dusk settled over the white expanse, we returned with our hard-earned spoils. The villagers greeted us with relief. The dangerous population of wild boars had been drastically reduced. In this icy wilderness, The hunt was more intense and unforgiving than ever before. Deep imprints in the frozen earth told their story predators had invaded these lands for too long. With every steady shot, another threat fell silent.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.